to worry about him. This is more about controlling his own party. Because the minute he acquiesces, then the floodgates get open and you start to see a whole bunch of people more worried about a post-Trump world than the current Trump world. So I do think it's about him trying to keep relevancy and power as long as he can. I do think actuary tables and Father Time are his biggest obstacles.
I think it's a big troll. I mean, honestly, I think, Steve Bannon, a few days ago said, we're serious about this. That is Steve Bannon trying to be in the media cycle again. There is no way. There's no flexibility. They act like there's flexibility in the Constitution. I read through the amendment again, and it's like, it even goes into saying if you served as vice president, basically that counts as one term. So it basically covers everything. There is no way around that 2 terms unless we just decide that we're going to throw the Constitution out, which I think would be hard to do.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Larry Tribe in a couple minutes, and he seems to disagree with you. So we'll bring that back up with him in a minute. But Doug Heye, let's watch a little bit more of what Donald Trump said earlier today, because he did bring up the universe that Chuck was talking about, those people that are going to be waiting in the wings to pounce as soon as they, because there is, let's be real, there are going to be people who want to take over in a post-Trump era. Here was Trump on Vance and Rubio.
Well, we have great people. I don't have to get into that, but we have one of them standing right here. We have J.D., obviously. The vice president is great. I think Marco's great. I think, I'm not sure if anybody would run against us. I think if they ever formed a group, it would be unstoppable. I really do. I believe that.
So now he's floating Vance Rubio 2028 too in the same breath?
Absolutely. Everything that Donald Trump does has one common theme in it. Tune in tomorrow. So he hasn't endorsed anybody. He's talked about himself so that this conversation will continue. And what is the conversation about? Even if he includes other people, it always goes back to that one core theme. Donald Trump, tune in tomorrow. We will have this conversation again.
Sabrina, what did you make of what Gavin Newsom said there, that he thought that the midterms were going to try to set Donald Trump up for a third term?
I think he has a point to make of that. If Democrats win back the House, there's an additional check on power. But, if Johnson is, if Republicans are successful at holding the House and Johnson remains Speaker, I think to what everyone has said on this panel, it's going to be very, very tough for Donald Trump, as much as he says it, to be elected for a third term. I mean, there's Democratic governors in states that are not going to put him on the ballot. So logistically and by the numbers game, he wouldn't win. So why would you even jeopardize that and put your name on the ballot when you're not going to have the numbers, or in his words, you're not going to have the cards. So I think to Chuck's point, relevancy is a hell of a drug. I think he likes to stay relevant.
Seems to power this entire town.
Yeah, and why he doesn't want to become a lame duck president so early. So why stay relevant in the conversation?
So, Chuck, you mentioned Father Time. One of the other things that we learned today, because for some reason the president decided to talk about it, was that at his recent visit to Walter Reed Medical Center, about 2.5 weeks ago, this happened, he had an MRI. Let's watch what the president said about that.
I did. I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah. I mean, I gave you the full results. We had an MRI, and in the machine, the whole thing, and it was perfect. Yeah.
Did you say what in particular?
You could ask the doctors.
You can ask the doctors. Congressman, what does it say to you that the president is deciding to talk about this MRI that he supposedly had? Because, I had a very public battle with a brain tumor. I've had an MRI. They don't, I guess the president may not have regular health insurance. They certainly wouldn't give me an MRI for no reason.
Yeah, the whole thing's odd. And why did he bring it up? I don't know if it was specifically asked, if he kind of brought it out of nowhere, but my guess is probably there's information that's going to come out, or somebody probably called the White House and said, here's what we heard. But for him to say, you got to ask the doctors, basically, I don't know why it was sitting there in an MRI machine, is a little odd, right? But I think Americans have a right to know the president's health. I wouldn't be as dogged on this one specifically, except that Donald Trump and the Republicans made every president's health a huge issue all the time. You remember Hillary had a stumble once, and all of a sudden now, all this rumors about Hillary Clinton and what they're hiding. Same with Joe Biden.
He got his National Enquirer buddy to create a whole narrative.
Yeah. And so, look, we saw that with Joe Biden. We deserve